Good evening. Once again, a program note for tomorrow night and all through the football season. We will be airing on CCO from 11 p.m. until 11 p.m. Steve Thompson's High School Football Roundup, the scoreboard, where you get all the scores from high school games from around the state, and it's a wonderful show. So our first 2 hours of our show will be preempted. The World of Aviation will air at 11 o'clock each Friday night after the high school football roundup. And tomorrow night on the World of Aviation, it's going to be Dr. Harold Brown, who was a North Minneapolis kid. He went to Minneapolis North High School. He has a book out that's just fabulous. Keep Your Airspeed Up, the story of a Tuskegee airman. I've had the honor to get to know him over the years, and just a gentleman of gentlemen. Just a fabulous guy, and I think you're going to really enjoy our conversation that we're going to have with him. Sleeper issue has emerged among DFL candidates in the 2018's governor's race. Any idea what that might be? The answer is wacky tobacco, marijuana. St. Paul Mayor Chris Coleman, State Reps Aaron Murphy, Tina Leibling, and Paul Thiessen, and U.S. Representative Tim Walz all support legalizing marijuana, not just for medical use, but for recreational use. Among the major DFL candidates, only State Auditor Rebecca Otto declined to do so. I've seen it happen in Colorado. And the pie in the sky figures that they threw out were never realized. I mean, the state is making money on the taxing, but what the individuals didn't realize when they were pushing this, and this is a nationwide effort, by the way. Don't believe that this is a local effort in Minnesota. It's not. Just like it wasn't a local effort in Colorado or Washington. This is a nationwide effort to legalize marijuana. But the one thing that you're not being told is that you're still going to have the drug dealers out on the street, which and legalizing marijuana makes their job a heck of a lot easier. What Colorado discovered is that people quickly realized that you could buy the marijuana less expensively through the dealer on the corner or the dealer they know than it costs to go to the marijuana shop, where the price is higher, and you got to pay sales tax on it. And it doesn't make any difference where you get it because marijuana is then legal. They didn't think of that. And that's why the revenue wasn't as sky high as they thought it would be. I mean, the revenue is up there. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of money being taken in by the state. But they didn't take into consideration that the drug dealers were not going to go away. They're still going to be selling marijuana. So this is going to be a hot button topic in that next governor's race. Let's go to Tony in Middletown. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Al.
Hi.
You always bring up your subject after I've made my call, and something I was wondering. My favorite Paul McCartney song of all times, if I may.
Let me guess.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I know you. You've been calling this show for how many years now?
1991.
1991. So it's been 38 years.
Wow.
Think of that. No. 28 years. 20 some years.
I thought that sounded a little, yeah, that's better.
My Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you know?
I just know you. I know you. And I read your email today.
Huh?
And I read your email today.
Oh, you did. That's cheating.
I know.
But
it felt so good. I had you mystified, didn't I?
Yeah.
And by the way, you got the thingamabobby out of the washer that was tangled around the
yeah. Well, I did
the
with
agitator.
my finger, and it was under there,
yeah.
and I just kind of lifted it up a little bit and put it back down.
There
it's
you
working
go.
fine now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I panic over things, little things, big things, middle-sized things.
Yeah.
But and then
I'm glad we could help.
Thank you. According to my email, which I sent you, I think the Manson clan ought to be put to death just the way they did their victims.
Yeah. I got to tell you, first of all, I recall when California decided to suspend all capital punishment and commute those who had been sentenced to death to life in prison. And I said at the time, and they're going to get out for good behavior. And look what's happening here. That's one of the primary reasons for the use for Van Houten. She got a college degree, and she's been a model prisoner. And it just sickens me because you look at the people that they murdered, and Van Houten admitted in court that she stabbed Mrs. LaBianca 12 times after she had already been repeatedly stabbed. She wanted to jump into it and stab her herself. That's how vicious this woman was. And now they're going to let her out on good behavior?
Look how many times Manson himself has come up for parole.
Yeah.
If they ever let him out, God help us.
Yeah. He's still nuts.
I don't
in my opinion, his followers were nuts as well.
Yeah, they were crazy, if not crazier than he was.
Well, what kind of person, goes out and murders innocent individuals like they did the Tates and the LaBiancas?
And
those
Sharon
are vicious,
Tate, they even
deranged.
cut her baby out of her.
It's just nuts. Absolutely. And then Charlie Manson, the next day, was upset because his followers, they didn't leave enough evidence to say who was responsible for it. That's why they killed the LaBiancas. And that's when they were writing Helter Skelter and blood on the walls and all that nonsense.
Oh, my God.
These people were nuts. And now Van Houten's going to be freed.
Now, let me ask you something about Lincoln, President Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where he read it, because he never would say. He'd say, well, I read somewhere, and my dad was an avid reader. Mm-hmm. But he said that he had read someplace, like I said, I don't know where, that Abraham Lincoln was going to free the slaves and send all of them back home to Africa. Was that true, and was that why he was murdered?
No, I've never heard that, to be honest with you. I know that, the Emancipation Proclamation, which was signed in 1862, freed the slaves in the South. And it became a major issue at that time during the Civil War. He definitely wanted all slaves to be freed.
Yes.
But he was assassinated because he was the president of the United States that had defeated the Confederacy. And
okay. I had never heard a reason why he was assassinated.
Well, that's why. They were, John Wilkes Booth and his buddies. They thought that they were going to be heroes for assassinating Lincoln, but they did more harm to the South by doing that than any one event.
Yeah, I can see that.
At that time in history, yeah. Because he was very sympathetic to the problems of the South after the war. There were those in the Congress, they wanted the hammer to come down on the people of the South. Mm-hmm. Lincoln's, his enemies in Congress, the Democrats in Congress, they were opposed to this all the way. They didn't want the slaves freed. When General McClellan ran for the presidency in 1864, he would have ended the war if he had won. Let him secede.
I had also heard that President Lincoln was going to sign that bill in the very next day to have the freed slaves sent back home to Africa, and that's why he was killed.
I don't know. Yeah,
do you have an imponderable?
I've never read that. Oh, let me throw one out. Let's see if I can find one here. If you're an average person, you'll consume close to 29 pounds of these per year. What is it?
29 pounds.
29 pounds. Oofta.
If it's me, it's going to be cookies.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Miss Tony?
Yeah.
Cookies? That's a great answer. That's a great answer. That's a wonderful answer.
But it's not right.
That is such a great answer that I'm going to say it's wrong.
Hey, did our sleeping friend call tonight?
No, he has not. No, he has not.
Well, I told
you. He wasn't even on hold that long. He must have fallen asleep right away.
I think he must have narcolepsy.
I think that he's tired. He's a retired police officer, and I think that he deserves retirement. I think he's tired.
Because that's about the third or the fourth time that's happened, isn't it? Or is it only the second?
Second time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I told you about that lady.
By the way, everybody from the Business Radio Network says hi.
Oh, do they still remember me?
Yes. I spent a lot of time with Ernie, Greg Davis.
Oh, tell Ernie I said hi.
I already did.
And Greg Lanning?
I told everybody. And Greg Lanning was not there, unfortunately. I don't know where he is.
That's really all I knew from there was you and little Ernie and Greg Lanning. Yep.
We just had, Greg and I were laughing so hard, telling old war stories. It was just unbelievable. But we just had, this is a group of people that went through a lot of adversity together, and to this day are very, very tight. And like I said earlier, nobody wanted to leave at the end of the night. Nobody wanted to leave.
What is
that? A
lot
of hugs
now? Are you allowed to say?
It's changed a couple of times.
Okay.
It's the last time I heard it's based out of Chicago, and somebody said they were moving to New York City.
Okay.
It was like Business Talk Radio or something like that. VTR.
So it's pretty
like that.
much what it is, what it has been.
It's a shadow of what it was when we were there. Just a shadow. I mean, the concept was really good. The first owner, the group of owners that first had it, they were very aggressive. And it's like, as I said, Newsweek magazine called it the fastest growing network in America. Yeah. Nice article in the Newsweek magazine. I didn't even know they were doing an article. I was sitting in a dentist's office and picked up the latest Newsweek, and I'm thumbing through it, and I see America's fastest growing network, and I see it's about us. I went, wow.
Were you working there at that time?
Yeah, I was there. I was there from the very beginning. I mean, I remember I started there as a news anchor man. Okay. Gwendolyn Ray was my co-anchor, and for 30 days leading up to it, we 24 hours a day, we pretended we were on the air, going through and tweaking the format and making sure everything was right. So when D-Day hit, we knew what we were doing, and it was fabulous. Boy, we all agreed in talking on Monday. We all agreed that it was probably the most enjoyable times of our career.
May I ask really another question, or are you up against the wall?
Sure. No, sure. Go ahead.
Whatever happened to Nick Ridley and Nancy Fox?
I'm Facebook friends with Nick, and he's out of broadcasting. I'm not sure what he does, but
he doesn't work for that sports network anymore.
No. And Nancy, I'm not sure where Nancy went.
And they had changed in that one day.
Yeah, they were all sports. Yeah, they were all sports. Yeah, they're all sports, which is unfortunate.
And Nick said, Tony, we're all sports now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Nancy?
I don't know what happened to her. Funny lady.
She was a good broadcaster.
Yeah, she was. She was very good and very funny. Very funny.
Yeah, I used to
enjoyed
crack
her
up
immensely, and
with her.
I don't know where she went. I have no idea. Now I've got to take a break. Tony, good to talk to you.
Thank you, Al.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.
This is 830 WCCO.
Where are you, little star?